Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. We're live in Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is a spot, and this is one hell of a way to begin the hour here. It's going to be a lot of fun. This guy has an incredible resume. Jon Jansen joins the program now. Former first-team All-American at Michigan, won a national title back in 1997, 10-year NFL vet, daily radio now in Detroit, current analyst there, Lions and the Wolverines. 97 won the ticket in Detroit is the spot. It's great to meet you. Thanks for coming in studio today.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. It's always great to be in Vegas.
You're here for Radio Row, as you guys come out here every year this time, because Derek, obviously, with the Detroit connection.
Yeah, it was unique this morning because we started the show, normally in Detroit, we're on 6 to 10. So this morning, we're doing our show prep at 2 in the morning out here, going live at 3. So it's been a bit of a long day.
Why even go to bed? Stay up all night, hit the tables. Have you ever met a billionaire as nice as Derek Stevens?
No, Derek's great. And you know what? I've known a handful of them, obviously being around the NFL, being around some NFL owners, but he's probably the only one where you can text him just about at any point in the day, and he'll get back to you with an answer or just a simple, how's it going? So it's always nice to be able to have that connection with him.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, you won that national title with Michigan back in 1997. What's the better payoff, in your opinion, the 12-team playoff or splitting a national title like you guys did?
Yeah, if you could, trust me, you put me on the field with Nebraska, and I can make a few phone calls, and we could settle that now.
You want to go play it?
Yeah, we could settle that now if you want. I mean, I may have to make a change at quarterback instead of Greasy. I might go with Brady.
Yeah.
But if we're just going as was, I can make those calls. But yeah, I mean, the 12-team playoff, it's got its pros and cons. We all have to accept the fact it is what it is. We're not going back. But the thing that's nice about it is, no matter how you lay it out, if you're making predictions for this year, the exciting thing is the matchups that you start to see. If you would think that USC is going to make a run, you could see USC Oklahoma, Indiana Miami. If they're going to be back in it again, you could have a rematch of the national title game. So there's a lot of great potential with the matchups that can happen in 12 teams.
Okay. Can you state your case right now why we should all believe in sophomore quarterback Bryce Underwood?
I got no proof. I've seen him at practice.
Right.
I've been around him. I've seen him all offseason. The fact that he, simply has a quarterback coach this year is a step in the right direction. His footwork, we all saw against Texas a lot of the back foot throws. I haven't seen those throughout the course of practice. He's done a really nice job of understanding his mechanics and how it translates into whether it's creating interceptions or it's creating opportunities for guys downfield. And I think the biggest thing for him is he's going to be better protected this year. I mean, you're talking to a former offensive lineman. So the offensive line was very young, inexperienced last year. Most of those guys are back, a better product at center in Jake Guarnera. So I think that's going to help him a tremendous amount as well.
What's the feeling with the fan base and Whittingham taking over, and then what happened with the AD?
I mean, obviously Ward's going to be moving on. Ward Manuel, the AD, he'll be moving on in January. That's been put on the back burner, and all the focus right now is on the football season. And Coach Whittingham coming in, stabilizing the program, bringing discipline to the program. One of the things I really like about it, and Michigan wasn't a heavily penalized team last year, but anytime you look at Coach Whittingham's track record, that his teams have always been among the least penalized teams in college football. If you're taking over a new program, installing a new system, you've got to have discipline, and that's where it will show off. And if you're going to win some of those tight games that Michigan has, whether it's Indiana, Penn State we don't know about, you've got, trips to Eugene and Ohio State, like those are going to be ones where you got to give yourself every opportunity to win. Penalties, turnovers are going to be a huge part of it.
Yeah, in our world, the win total, some books have 7.5. It's going to be with various juice. Other books have 8.5. I'm looking at that schedule like you talked about. Oh boy, are they going to get to 8-9 wins?
If I was to put money on it, I would probably take the under, because Oklahoma, we saw what happened last year. Now it's going to be in Ann Arbor. Again, we're talking about another year older of Bryce Underwood, but the Brett Venables defense, it changes every single game, let alone over the year. They've got a lot of talent back. But then you look at Penn State, you look at Indiana. Iowa, I think, is a sleeper team. That's the first Big Ten matchup. And so it's going to be a tough road for Michigan to get to 9 wins. Now, does 9 wins get them into the college football playoffs? It depends on who those 3 losses are, and they're going to have to beat somebody.
Well, if they have a couple of wins there at the back end, like against Ohio State. And if they were to win another one, say either Oklahoma or Oregon, and they finish 9-3, do you think a 9-3 team gets in this year overall from any conference?
I do think there's going to be at least one 9-3 team that gets in. There might be a couple because you look at the Big Ten. Oregon, Dan Lanning, win some of those big games, and there's going to be losses. I don't think Indiana runs the table again. And then you look at the SEC. Is Georgia going to repeat as SEC champs? With what LSU is, who knows what's going on at LSU and who's going to be playing. But what's going to happen at Alabama? They can't have another season. They were in the playoffs, but it wasn't a great representation last year.
No, well, and the team that they lost to, because what Cignetti has done in 2 years, like I'm here for it. How could I not be a full believer in this? It's the best coaching job I've ever seen in 2 years. They were the worst Division Power 5 program in the history of the sport. Then they won the national title. What is your pecking order at the top of the Big Ten this year?
I think Oregon is by far and away the best of the Big Ten. When you think about what Dante Moore, and I've talked about this a lot, the decision that he made, I think he would have been the number one quarterback taken in the draft. If he wasn't, he certainly would have been a top 5 pick. To make that mature decision and come back, things that he wanted to work on, they've got talent everywhere on that, and their offensive line, I think, is deep and really good. Speed on defense. I think with what Ohio State lost, especially defensively, they're always going to reload, but I just don't think they can match up toe-to-toe with Oregon this year.
And then so you would go Oregon 1, Ohio State 2, Indiana 3?
Yes.
Overall? You think Indiana just lost too much?
I can't say that about Kirk Cignetti because we saw what he's done with the transfers coming in with JMU, and then all of a sudden you have quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. Now he's on to Josh Hoover, and I mean he went out and got Nick Marsh, the receiver from Michigan State. So I think there's a lot that you can look at and say, I'm not going to count him out as defending champs because of what he's done in 2 years, to your point. And it raises the question of, he brought those players from JMU and had great success. Can Matt Campbell do that, bringing Power 4 players from Iowa State, 24 of them, to Penn State? Can he have that same success?
You can speak to the camaraderie of being an offensive lineman in a tight-knit group. Do you think NIL and who's getting paid what can hurt chemistry?
I know that's what a lot of people think. And yes, because you're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds, it's a different age group than we're talking about the NFL. It's been that way in the NFL for as long as we've ever known. Quarterback's going to make the most money. Your edge defender's going to make the second most. And then you start down the pecking order. I don't think it's as big of a situation as a lot of people are making it out to be.
Okay. What is the current level of hatred for Ohio State?
I know that Coach Whittingham has said he doesn't like to use the word hate. Mm-hmm. I'm not of that mindset, and I'll give it to you this way. My daughter, she goes to Purdue. I will drive around the state of Ohio to get to her. Yeah, and it only takes me maybe a half hour, 40 minutes longer, but there's absolutely no chance that I am going through the state of Ohio.
Do you hate them now more or when you played?
It grows every year. Why? I mean, that's something that just builds and builds and builds. And obviously, when I was there, my record was 3-1 against them. And then you go for 17 years and you struggle against them for 17 years. Uh-huh. It just continues. That disdain continues to grow up. Now you're not doing anything about it, but recently we have. And now we'll see if I think last year was probably a one-off.
What if your daughter had only had a full ride to Ohio State, and you were like, I know you can afford it, obviously, but you're like.
She's paying for it. So,
is she?
Yeah. If she wanted to go to Ohio State, again, she's writing the checks.
Okay, yeah. You would not have stepped in?
I would have made it known that I think she's making a bad decision, and it would be a bad reflection on me as a parent. But at some point, you got to let them make their own mistakes.
Do you have any? Do you have any friends who went to Ohio State?
Sure. The Sean Springs, Big Daddy they were teammates of mine. I did a lot of shows on Sirius XM with Ben Hartsock, a former tight end there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I do have friends, but it's one of those where you keep your friends close, but you keep your enemies closer. Yeah, and that's exactly where that falls.
Well, I'll use the word then. You got a hate day then. Well, I want to score 100 on them and then to give it right back to them.
Well, I mean that was a big, bold proclamation, but
yes,
he's one he hasn't been able to follow through on.
Sure.
And he did get over the hump last year, so we'll give him a little pat on the back and say, we'll see you this year down in Columbus.
Oh, you must have. The way it flipped there at the end for Harbaugh. What was it, 3 years in a row?
Yeah. It was, 21, 22, 23. And then obviously Sharon went down in 24 and got that win down in Columbus. So it was, it's a unique situation in that it is by far the greatest rivalry in sports. And those that have played in it, I think, have a different perspective. And I can be friends with some of those guys. I joke around a lot with them, but that's what makes college football so great. And my concern with the transfer portal, with guys only being places 1 year, 2 years at a time, and then going on, is that we're losing the history, the tradition that you learn as a freshman that ultimately pays off as a senior.
Did you see right off the bat, the Apple Cup is being played on a Sunday?
Yeah. Right away to begin the year.
I don't know what we're doing in college football anymore.
Crazy.
It's bizarre times. If I had told you this is where we were even 2 years ago, you guys would have said there's no chance.
Yeah, like you need a drug test.
Yeah, we had guys that were suing to get to the NFL earlier, and now we have guys that are actually suing to get back to college football from the NFL.
Crazy. Yeah. It's Follow the Money on I can't get enough of that story. You will literally drive her around the state of Ohio.
Oh, yeah. There's no chance. No chance. And I'll run out of gas before I fill up in that state, too.
More Jon Jansen coming up next. We'll get to the NFL. True or false? Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers will sign J.J. McCarthy if the Vikings cut him. We'll ask him coming up.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We continue here. Jon Jansen, our guest, 97 won the ticket now in Detroit. Well, now and for a long time, analyst for the Lions and the Wolverines. Played in the NFL for 10 years. First team All-American at Michigan. Won a national title in 1997. By the way, you were there for the quarterback battle between Tom Brady and Drew Hansen, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it was an adventure. And that actually was the only year that I lost to Ohio State. That was my fifth year, and it was a mix of Brady and Henson at that time.
Who quarterbacked that game?
That was Tom. Tom.
Huh. Did you think teams made a mistake when he slipped all the way to the sixth round?
No. I always thought Tom was, as we all know, Tom's not the most mobile quarterback. And I felt like his approach to the game would be better translated in the NFL than it was in college football. Because defenses in college football, if one guy makes a mistake, then all of a sudden, hey, he makes a great play. But unless you're playing Junior Seau or a player of that caliber or that style, you can dissect defenses more in the NFL than really you can in college football.
Okay, good answer. I teased this before the break. True or false, the Chargers will sign J.J. McCarthy if the Vikings cut him?
100% true. I don't think there's any question that they would sign him. I think it would be a good fit for the offense. I don't know that he ever makes it past being a backup quarterback for the rest of his career, but if he has any hopes of developing, to go back to the guy that tried to develop him in college football would be the obvious choice.
Yeah. The Ravens and the Chargers both lost their starting center. Harbaugh says he has a lot of confidence in the backup Slaughter. Could that derail the season, or can they be okay? Take us through that as an offensive lineman.
It's tough anytime you lose your center. Last year in Detroit, Frank Ragnow retired late. This year they signed Cade Mays, and he's hurt. He's going to miss probably the first 5 or 6 games. So anytime a center goes down, they're the ones that they communicate with the quarterback the most. They're the ones that are setting the protections. They're setting the blocking schemes, and they connect both sides. And it all depends more on what do you have in the guard and tackle positions. If you have tackles that have great vision and great communication skills, they can see everything and relay everything to the center, but he's got to be that master computer that ultimately makes the decision and tells the quarterback, hey, we're going to 52 or we're heading out to 2, and look at the corner blitz. He's got to be the one that processes all that. So it's an adjustment. It can be done. but it's a huge hit to an offense.
Okay. The team that you cover there, the pro team, the Lions, when they finished in last place last year and they're going to be looking at it, and then you learned the opponents, obviously, I'm like, yeah, that's the team I'm going to be on with many bets. And I am. And, I mean, it is screaming when you look at their schedule, like 11, 12, 13 wins, but everybody likes them. And now they do have, like, multiple injuries. A lot of teams do. But overall, your thoughts on what we're looking at here this year with the Lions?
I think defensively, now I know Derek Moore, the second-round pick that they had out of Michigan, is nicked up, and Dan just said he's going to be out for a little bit of time. DJ Wanham and that defensive front, along with Aiden Hutchinson, a healthy Aleem McNeil, a year removed now from that ACL. He came back against Tampa, had one really great game, but struggled through the rest of the season. Tyleek Williams has dropped, they've said he's dropped about 50 pounds. I think the defensive front will be better, and along with Jack Campbell, the front seven. So if they can apply better pressure to the quarterback, this is really going to be the key for this defense and really ultimately for the success of the team. If they can apply more pressure defensively, it will take away, or it will allow that secondary that has DJ Reed, but going to start the season with no Kirby Joseph, no Brian Branch, and really still a quarterback or a cornerback battle going on for CB2. A lot of question marks. That's the biggest question mark for this team is, will the defense, if they force 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 8 plus, will they be able to get off the field, or will quarterbacks dissect them?
There's been a ton of injuries already, and on Hard Knocks, Bobo tore his ACL and out for the year. And I think a lot of times fans look at these guys as robots and it's entertainment, whatever, but it's just he was screaming and writhing in pain on the ground. You broke your ankle and tore your Achilles. When you go down with that pain, is it also, my God, this hurts, but I have a year of rehab now coming ahead of me?
Most guys know when they, even if they've never had an ACL, they don't know what it feels like. They know something is majorly wrong. And when I did my Achilles, I knew something was majorly wrong. And I did that in the Hall of Fame game. So it was the first of 5 preseason games. When I did my ankle, it was against Miami in our home opener. So yes, there is the physical pain, but it's also the pain of, I just spent 6 months getting ready for, at that time, 16 games, now 17, and there's going to be no payoff. And now I've got to spend this entire football season. I'm not going to be and these all things, these do go through your mind. I'm not going to be in the meetings. I'm not going to be at practice with the guys. I'm not going to be a part of all the things that make a team a team. The things that I miss the most is being around the guys. You are not there, and you're not present for any of those moments. You feel like you're missing out, along with the fact that you're rehabbing and hoping that you can physically get back to continue your career.
Boy, it almost sounds worse mentally than physically.
Oh, I think that is the biggest hurdle for these guys to be able to get over, is the mental side of things. Physically, yeah, I mean, especially with the training techniques that they have now, the medical procedures. I mean, an Achilles used to be 12 to 14 months if it wasn't a career ender. Now we're seeing guys come back in 9. Same thing, like you look at Patrick Mahomes. I didn't think there was any chance he'd be back for the opener.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
He was back playing in training camp. So you're back faster physically, but it's the mental challenge of not having what you know is your norm. I still have, withdraw anytime teams report to training camp, because I feel like my body tells me that's what I should be doing. Yeah. So the mental side of it is always going to be the more challenging part.
The announcer always says, and it's usually a former player, you don't want to know what goes on under the pile. So can you tell our audience how bad that is, what goes on under the pile?
Well, I'll give you the G-rated version. There's a lot of scratching, a lot of clawing. There might be some grabbing of unmentionables. And if there is a loose ball, we're talking about the football at this point, then there are a lot of things that will go on just simply. And if I'm not near the football, I know one of my teammates are. So if I can do anything to release the grip of that individual on the football, then A+ for me. And somebody else is going to stand up and get all the accolades. They're going to be the ones that get the press. But we all know at the bottom of the pile who actually made that possible.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Which team, by the way, do you think wins the NFC North?
I think it's going to be the Lions. I really do.
Okay.
I think the Bears, with their strength of schedule, I think they take a step back. I've never been a huge Love fan in Green Bay. And without Micah Parsons to start the season, now Detroit and Green Bay don't face off until, week 6 or 7? And I don't know if he's even back by that point. But in Minnesota, Kyler Murray, we all know he's going to be the quarterback. Is that a Band-Aid? Are they just looking to get to next year and find out who the answer is at quarterback? Can he have a Sam Darnold type of season for them? But I do think the Detroit Lions will have the most consistent team, offense and defense, throughout the course of the year.
You can follow him on X at Jon Jansen 77 with 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit. Out here at Circa, a couple of things before you leave. If you had a vote, would you have given it to Charles Woodson or Peyton Manning for the Heisman Trophy in 1997?
Yeah, if I had a vote,
Yeah.
it would have been Charles.
Yeah.
There's no question. Peyton Manning, the problem with that one is you had two not only great athletes with great careers, but two great individuals as well. And Charles, I know that they go back and forth on social media every once in a while, and we've seen all the commercials, but Charles was such a special athlete. And one of the things, been around a couple of guys like him that were just gifted at birth. He is one of those that worked his tail off for everything that he accomplished. He didn't just rely on the DNA.
There is a deli here called Saginaw's Deli. I'm sure you've eaten there.
I had breakfast there this morning.
You did. Which dish best represents that city?
Wow. I don't know the name of the dishes, but I wouldn't go with the Western omelet. And I honestly, I think it's just what I had this morning. It was the ham and egger. I went with bacon, but it's just it's a workhorse town. And you go in, you get your egg sunny side, slab of bacon, English muffin or toast, and no frills, just work.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Good answer.
That's a great part. But I think when I was there, we were there for the 2006 Super Bowl. What's the fried cheese that was available at? Is it called Opa or something like that we were eating?
There was probably a Greek restaurant.
It was, yeah. There you go.
Down there, yeah, fried cheese. Yeah, now we've got M&M's Mom Spaghetti.
And
if you come to town, it's the two Coney Islands that are right there. I'm my preference is Lafayette, Coney Island, but you would have to make your own determination.
That sounds great.
What do you put on a hot dog?
Well, on the Coney?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be the chili, the cheese, and I'm a mustard guy.
Yeah.
No relish.
No relish.
Okay.
No relish. No relish. I don't like pickles.
And certainly no ketchup.
No ketchup.
Okay.
No.
Right.
Definitely mustard. And if it's not a Coney dog, if it's just a straight dog from Comerica, I'm going with straight mustard.
Okay. You're on the air at 3 o'clock in the morning again tomorrow.
No, I'm heading back. I got the red eye tonight.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you want to listen on the app, you can listen at 3 in the morning.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me on.
Right,
Appreciate
there you
it.
go. Jon Jansen, 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit. Hell of a resume. Best bets in soccer this weekend with the meat man Steve Wyss coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, perfect 3-0 last week in the Prim. It's our guy, the Butcher, Steve Wyss at Meatman Soccer on X, Because We Win Pod. He's excellent, and they do a live show Saturday mornings, Because We Win as well. A ton of Premier League picks, and he'll sneak in a Championship League pick, but he was hot on the Prim, so we'll stick with that coming up and start with that. Appreciate he's on the Progressive guest line, by the way. I didn't see that coming with Hull. They shocked Man U. And remember, they're minus $7 to be relegated, and they beat Man U. Now they're going against Coventry, also a team that was promoted. Do you see a low-scoring affair Saturday, Meatman?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I did not see that coming last week. Hull beating Manchester United 2-0. But it was like the perfect storm for Man United. The early kickoff away against a newly promoted team. The stadium was buzzing. And shocks can happen in sport. It's as simple as that. And that's what happened there with Hull. I think Hull are going to be delighted with that result. And they'll want to back it up and consolidate it by trying to get a point now away against Coventry. This is a battle between two newly promoted teams. So the stakes are kind of high here. I don't think either team's going to want to lose it. Both meetings last season ended 0-0.
Okay.
So that's a good foundation and a base. It's the same managers. Similar sort of players as well. And, who's to say we're not going to get another 0-0 here? Because Hull City are the sort of team that kind of defy the metrics, forget what their stats are like. On the field, they seem to defend really well. They block a lot of chances. and the keeper had a good first match as well. So Coventry are going to have to break them down. They've had about 8 days to prepare for this match since they lost to Arsenal 3-0. We expected that. It wasn't terrible from Coventry, but we need to see a lot more from them. They didn't offer much offensively, as we might have thought. I'm just seeing a tight, close game, and don't rule out that 0-0 or a 1-1. If anyone's going to win it, probably Coventry by a tight one. It's their first home match. Under 2.5 goals, -110. That looks the best bet for this game, guys.
Okay, very good. You were strong on the Newcastle-Liverpool over last week. Easy winner. 2-2 final score, goes over 3.5 at plus money. Are you riding this wave here with goals early on as Newcastle takes on the Spurs?
Yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from the new Newcastle manager, actually. He's much more, I think, attack-minded than his predecessor. So if Newcastle can continue to play this way, where they've got strong attacking weapons but a dodgy defence, then I think they're going to be involved in a lot of shootouts. And this match against Spurs looks like it's going to be full of goals. I'm taking the over 3 Asian goal line here. Flat 3 line, so a full push if 3 goals are scored exactly. But I think we could get quite a big over potentially. Spurs were horrific last week away against Brentford. Yes. They lost it 3-0. It could have been 5 or 6, genuinely. Missed penalties and stuff like that. But they did rebound well in the Midweek Cup. And I think from a Spurs perspective, if they keep defending like this, they're going to have to score goals themselves as well. So I think we're going to get an end-to-end match, which could be over everything, like shots on target, corners, goals. Over 3 Asian total looks light. I think this could be 3.25 or 3.5 line, really. So very happy to strike with the over 3 at evens.
Sounds good. Let's go to Sunday. Another total. Sunderland and Fulham. Over 2.5 even money.
Well, if I'm right, then both of these teams are going to get relegated this season. That's my predictions. And from what I saw in week 1, there's definitely some alarm bells for both. So certainly Fulham, and certainly defensively for both teams, they looked dodgy. They looked all at sea, actually. They were conceding a lot of chances. I mean, Fulham against Chelsea, that was incredible. That could have been, again, 5 or 6 goals conceded, the way they set themselves up. And I just think this might be a shootout as well, where both teams fancy the win against each other, and there's too many mistakes being made at the back. So flat over 2.5 goals here, even money again. This looks generous, and I think part of it is priced up because last season Sunderland did have quite a lot of unders in the first half of the season, but they were more defensively better. They were better defensively last season for what we've seen from week 1. They lost to Ipswich, a newly promoted team, 2-1. So I don't know who's going to win it. Maybe this is like a 2-2 tie and no one gets the win, but I do like the goals for over 2.5 goals at even money.
All right, and then Man U has to respond after getting humiliated and shut out 2-0 against Hull.
This is just a classic rebound game, isn't it? But Man United have had all week to hear how bad they are, all the criticism, and, they're the laughingstock of the league. The fans won't be happy. I've seen it all before at Manchester United. It's the same old cycle. This is why I said under 69.5 points for the season is a good bet. Although I did expect them to win last week. They're going to rebound here. I know what Man United are like. They'll turn up, play well, probably beat Ipswich by a big number, and everything's going to be rosy in the garden again, at least for 1 week. And I'm going to take a -1.5 handicap here at plus money, because if they win the match, I think they win big. It's as simple as that. We're not just going to get a tight 1-0 from Manchester United here. If they deliver, they turn it on big style and win by a big margin. Either that or they fail again. So I'm happy to take a plus money bet on Manchester United, because just if it falls to their historical patterns of a rebound after a bad performance, and they're going to deliver. Let's not forget they're facing a newly promoted team at home. Now, what price would they have been week 1 if they were at home to Ipswich? The handicap line probably would be -2. We're suddenly getting maybe at least 1 or 1.5 line value just because of that. Possibly an overreaction to losing at Hull last week. So happy to back Manchester United on this occasion.
All right. Great job with 2 wins. Well, at least it won Monday. Chelsea beat Fulham. But the guy you tipped to lead in most goals, Pedro, scored a minute in. That was incredible. So let's go to Monday with a banger with Aston Villa and the champs Arsenal. How about a prop with a player in this one Monday?
I think anyone who watched Arsenal versus Coventry has got to be impressed with their new signing, Christos Zolis. He was excellent. I've got some stats about him, actually, from that match. He had 4 shots last week, which was the most of anyone. The most shots on target of anyone. 3 chances created. That's the second most. He had 8 touches in the penalty box, which was the most of anyone. He also had 81% pass accuracy. And he was involved heavily in the game. And if you keep doing that, you will either score goals or assist goals. So the bet has got to be here, Christos Zolis to score or assist at -110. Now, every man and his dog and his cat and his hamster and his rabbit is going to be on Arsenal for this game, guys, I tell you.
Yeah.
Because everyone is low on Villa and everyone's high on Arsenal. And, hey, I might get sucked in that trap myself. But right now, I'm just trying to get this player angle because he is just somewhat, it probably caught my eye the most of anyone entirely week one. Cole Palmer looked excellent for Chelsea as well, but Christos Zolis, I think, watch out for this guy. He's +200 to score, and that could be quite a big price as well. But let's put the assist into the basket as well. To score or assist, Christos Zolis, watch out for this guy. He's going to go really well this season for Arsenal.
All right. You like a side in the Championship League, which we'll get to in a second. Are you surprised that week 1, 9 of the 12 went over? Week 2, 9 of the 12 matches went over?
I am definitely, because at the start of the season, teams are often more rusty and disjointed. But it seems there's quite a lot of attacking managers in the Championship this season. That's the only explanation I can give. Possibly decent weather as well. It's kind of been perfect soccer weather so far. Not too hot, not too cold. No, not much rain around, although that's changing this weekend. So maybe we might see a regression of the goals. But from what I've seen so far, there's quite a lot of attacking managers in the Championship, more than normal.
Okay. And your side, you want to oppose Preston North End. You want to take Charlton. Tell us why.
Yeah, I might have got Charlton wrong. I said at the start of the season they were look good for relegation, but they've started with 2 excellent wins against Derby and West Ham. And you've got to say fair play to them there and big credit. They played in the Midweek Cup at Spurs and rested the whole team. So forget that Spurs Cup match. They're going to beat a Preston side. Preston just look like they're stinking the place out everywhere at the moment. Got beat by Bolton in week 1. I advised that on this show. Wolves went and beat them last week, and Wolves are not in a great way at the minute with injuries and team news. So that was worrying for Preston. And then they got absolutely hammered by Everton in the Cup 2 nights ago. I know it's a Premier League team, but at home it was a really, really bad defeat for Preston North End. So Charlton, for me, moneyline, +110 here. And Charlton can continue their 100% record because if they're beating Derby and they're beating West Ham, they're definitely going to be beating Preston if they keep playing the way they're doing. So one of those, sometimes you've got to admit, not defeat, but accept that you might have got a team slightly wrong, at least at this stage. But let's try and profit on it now by taking Charlton on the money line to beat Preston, +110.
Well said. Hey, Meat Man, how many matches do you go to, you think, throughout the entire season? Any level?
Not as many as I used to, actually. I'm often at home in front of a lot of screens and betting live and stuff.
Sure.
So I'm trying to get out to more matches than probably only about a dozen or so now. But I'm trying to get to more games, if I especially lower league and stuff, because it's kind of more fun in a way. There's so much corporate and stuff on the Premier League now. But I do try and get out there and about. Harrogate Town's my local side. They're in like the conference now. Tier 5, so quite a long way down after their relegation.
Nigel went to a League 2 match, and like the VIP is a picnic table with a and a ham sandwich.
Yeah,
that is If you come over here, you've got to do some VIPs in like League 2, and you'll be kind of shocked, really, in a good way, perhaps as well.
All right.
But it's kind of nuts how many soccer teams we've got in this country.
It is.
It's crazy.
I can't believe it. I know. Like you said, you got 5 leagues. You keep up on all of it.
All right. He's with the Because We Win podcast and the Betting Weekly studios. Follow him on X at MeatManSoccer. Thanks, Steve. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Our best bets in pocket plays coming up next.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
Vandelay! Say Vandelay! We got a delay in the Yankee game like Vasgersian talked about. We only got 5 games tonight in baseball, and probably 2 of them are going to get rained out. And it's a good one with Cole and the Yankees going on George Costanza bobblehead night. Ah, that sucks. Mets, that's a good angle, though, with Miz, right? If you're going to get the weather, the K prop under.
I did find under 7.5 at 2-1. What do you think about that?
Yeah, sure. I'm on board.
All right, John.
So this is great that soccer's back, and you're trying to find out maybe some of these hot teams and who can play high scoring, low scoring. 18 of the 20. Let's see my maths right now. 18 of the 24 have gone over in the Championship League. Sheffield United has played 2 0-0s. So the 0-0 detector's been out in both. How about League Two? Saturday, Bristol Rovers against Crawley Town. That was, I still believe, what was that kid's name who was on the network? He knows Gil. Cheetah? Preston?
Oh, Preston.
Part owner, they got promoted. I think they went down. Bristol has just played a 5-3 last week. So everything Meatman talked about that we wanted, and it did go over. But he thought Liverpool, Newcastle could have been crazy. Well, you got it in that match. And then they played a 3-0 in their other one, too. So they are high scoring and high flying. So League Two Saturday, Bristol and Crawley over 2.5. Maybe they play in a lot of bangers this year. Be a lot of fun. And football season is here. Got a ton of pending we'll get to tomorrow. There's a lot of futures with the NFL. And we got football tonight. I forgot FCS. They're on the right side of a 4-point move.
Oh, my God. I forgot to look. That game's 45 minutes deep already.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't think...
26 up to 30.5.
Let's see
Nothing
here.
but Youngstown money. The Penguins.
I wonder if that game... Any chance that game is on TV?
What do you got?
Luke, I got 15-3 right now. Youngstown, early second quarter.
Sure. You got to fade Mercyhurst anytime you can.
Oh, my God. When they're playing at this level?
Sure.
Who are you kidding? That's in pocket at 26.5. Gave it out yesterday. USC, San Jose State over 60.5. Did you want to run this down again from Felica?
Yeah, let me get it.
When they play,
Get it.
well, this is San Jose State.
I'll just say it this way. Yeah, I have it. When he plays group of 5 opponents, Lincoln Riley as head coach, teams from a non-power league.
Right.
It's a big sample size. They're averaging 57 a game.
Brad Powers hinted at that the other day, about their team total. That's probably a good one. Other pending that I have, the Hawaii +6 against Stanford. That's sitting at the Cardinal now at 4, and Memphis +6.5 this Saturday out here against UNLV. A little bit of CLV as of right now in that game as well. New stuff that we have tonight, Pauly. I think I'm tailing Mike Palm on this. The Liberty money line tonight.
Yeah.
Got to pay a little bit of juice against the Valkyries, but this is a schedule spot here because the Liberty, they are rested. They're at home. I believe it's the 4th road game in 6 nights for Golden State. They won again last night. They just tore apart Minnesota on the road, fading them tonight with the schedule.
There's still 7 games left, and every playoff spot is decided.
Is that right?
Yeah, every team. Yeah, all 8 teams have clinched a playoff spot. Yeah.
And I'm splitting a unit tonight on this Dodgers game. I got to do it. Sale's amazing, and the Braves have had the Dodgers number, and they are phenomenal against current playoff teams. But it's Yamamoto, maybe the biggest big game pitcher, best big game pitcher in baseball right now. I'm splitting the unit on Dodgers first 5 plus 118 plus 120 territory, and Dodgers for the game plus 108 plus 110 in that territory. So that's how I'm approaching that game this evening.
59, 73, 48, 66, 56, 66, 49, 63, 56, 56. Some of the games, Lincoln Riley against the small school teams.
Yeah.
Most people think sports betting is about picking winners. Ungamble is built on a different idea. Match betting and arbitrage, tool that teaches you how to use sportsbook bonuses and promotional offers to capture value, whether or not your side covers, and Ungambled backs it up. If you don't turn a profit on your bankroll in 8 weeks, they refund your membership. Win at sports betting without gambling. To learn more, start with the free guide at ungamble.com/VSiN. Ungamble.com/VSiN. Promo code VSiN for 10% off. Bet sharp, look square at Ungambled.
For what it's worth, on the Miz tonight, I'm looking right now at every single pitcher and their K-prop, Opta AI projections, vsin.com. The best under edge they have tonight is with Mizorowski. Now, they've actually, earlier today, it was 7+ Ks that they're projecting. Now that number's at 8.01. But 9+ Ks is juiced at -135. They make that number plus 145. That is a 16.6% edge to the under, or a negative 16.6% edge to the over, depends on how you look at that. And that's the biggest edge to an under out of any pitcher going tonight. Chris Sale is number 2. 8+ is plus 122. They would make the number plus 214 against the LA Dodgers. Do we get the sweep tonight from the Braves?
I think so. 2-13 last 15 Dodgers against teams with a winning record.
I hope you're wrong, because I just bet against them.
A couple of our friends from Dallas are in town, and I know they went through some tragedy last year with the flooding. Did you see what happened in Nepal and Tibet?
Oh my God, Paul!
I thought that. I go, this isn't real.
No, I
thought this is out of a movie. This can't be. This is AI. This is the saddest thing I've seen in a long time with the flooding, and it just comes out. It's like a tidal wave. Oh, I know. You can't run away from that, and it like no time.
It's one of the most devastating videos I've ever seen.
Oh, I couldn't.
Those poor people.
Oh my God.
And by the way, if you wanna feel better about something regarding that,
it puts the tsunami stuff to shame.
Oh, it's not even
when
close.
You just see where it comes out over the buildings, and it's just that's it.
Go check out what Nigel Seeley retweeted way earlier this morning. Our buddy, there was a video out there of elephants.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Saving
people and bringing them back.
Yeah.
The people that were still alive somehow and got out of it.
Get on my trunk and jump on my back.
Yeah, here you go. Grab my trunk. I'm going to take you. Oh, it's unbelievable. Animals, man. We don't deserve them.
Yeah.
The news earlier today, Josh Jacobs, Green Bay Packers, charged with 2 misdemeanors.
Charge says 3. I'll say a 2-game suspension.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think we're going to get a couple of games here. I don't think the NFL is going to let him go scot-free.
More good news for the Vikings. You got to beat them week 1 now. Got to win that game.
Yeah, well.
They are really becoming a polarizing team. I was watching, I like Cousin Sal's work. He's been on the show a few times. He is big-time anti-Vikings. He is way down on Kyler Murray, which I don't understand. Which you can be like, I don't like, but going to that situation with that coach and that offense and system, they won 9 games with crap last year.
Aren't they slipping into an upgrade over the quarterback spots they had last year?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
it's a huge upgrade.
Murray has to be on Deshaun Watson's level for it to be equal to what it was last year or even worse.
Is he a bust? Okay, maybe. Number 1 overall pick, only made the playoffs once, was terrible.
Yeah, I don't love him.
Playoff loss. But right. But look at the weapons that he has now and the coaching, not to mention garbage defense and what he had to go through in Arizona. So it's not like, the contract was out of control, but Arizona's in a total rebuild. He's going to a great, and he's got to prove it now too, though. Like if it doesn't work out here, I don't know what his future is in the league. But you saw what the guy did with Darnold, and you saw what he did with Dobbs, signing him off the street, winning games. I just think sky's the limit for the Vikings, and I'm not asking much. I got to do what I did last year, which is win 9 games.
Yeah. Well, here's what I said earlier, hinted at this earlier in the show, is that they are polarizing. You've heard strong opinions on both sides.
That's right.
It feels like almost the entire world is anti-Green Bay. Most people are anti-Chicago, and almost everybody is pro-Detroit. Well, what if it go? How does that play out if people are wrong? I would say the Vikings, under that scenario, people are wrong on the Bears, wrong on Green Bay. I mean, if it all works out like that, it could be a total dart throw, and the Vikings are plus 510 to win that division. I don't know.
That seems high.
Yeah, I know. Here I am sitting here with a bunch of bets on Detroit already this year, and I got to put up with the nonsense and the injuries again with this team. The perils of betting early on in the offseason. But they're not the only team, obviously.
What do you think of Seattle?
Well, I mean,
still think they're a playoff team? Are they going to miss Kubiak?
Their personnel is outstanding.
I know. Defense is nasty. Williams got paid today.
Special teams were incredible a year ago. JSN's going to come back to the pack. He's not going to be able to repeat that. Teams had a full offseason to prepare, obviously.
I know fans. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I don't think that you can just say, what are we going to get from Sam Darnold? I think the last 2 years are pretty much who that guy is now.
Yeah.
So I go back to that conversation you and I briefly had this week, and that is the most disrespected defending champ since, and you said the 0-1 Patriots.
I know fan short for fanatic. I did find it on Hard Knocks. The general manager, Schneider, is signing autographs.
Wow.
I mean, come on. You want the GM's autograph?
Yeah, stay tuned. Up next, VSiN Primetime, Femi Abebefe, Will Hill breaking down tonight's action, finding you the best in-game betting opportunities. On tonight's show, Ian Cameron, best bets for the UFL, and Jake Hassan brings it for MLB plays. Best of luck, everybody.